the president's inauguration as president of the Federal Republic. And Atiku Abubakar, quite frankly, I'm not familiar with, whatever documentation or suggestions of alternatives that, Atiku Abubakar, made. But what I do know, and I would think what Nigerians know, is that Mr. Alhaji Abubakar, the former vice president, in his campaign for the office of president in the 2023 electoral cycle, was very clear that he would take out, fuel subsidy. RUFAI, there's no romantic way to remove any system of dependency of anything. If you bring your friend to live in your house for 10 years without rent-free, and you provide him breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the day you decide that you need that space and you need him out to go commercial and rent his own space, I bet you that individual, even if he doesn't tell you, will feel like you are putting him out into the cold. Because he's become accustomed to living, life in your home for free. There's no way, all of these stories, told by everybody and by anybody, whether it's Atiku Abubakar or Peter Obi or, even my bosom friend, Professor Patu told me about how, President Tinubu could have, done the subsidy in a way that is, very, romantic. And look, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. It's about relative impact. What is important is that there was the need, the real self-evident need for us to tackle those problems. And I think that in fairness to even some of the opposition figures, they too were very clear that they would do the same thing. Now, this revisionist idea, what you call alternative, suggestions by Atiku Abubakar, now because, in hindsight, 1 year later, you are not the president, you campaigned to be president, you were not elected, and the man who became president is enacting policies that, clearly, are superior even to your attempt to, suggest, a policy position. You now begin to second guess and, talk about, maybe you should have been done 6 months later or 3 months later or done with this and that. Look, all that is neither here nor there. What we are dealing with today, and I think that the result of this president's, bold strategic intervention, demonstration of political will to tackle that elephant in the room that was sitting there for decades, that no president before him had the audacity and the political will to tackle, that I think is, worth celebrating, because it set this country at a fundamental level straight. It's provided opportunity for us to rise beyond all of this, quibblings and tweaking of, systems. Point is, our economy is doing better, never has been stronger. The macroeconomic evidence is there. You, on this station, I watch you every day and I hear you, say them. But, yes, whether we want to acknowledge them the way we should acknowledge them is a different matter. But, I think everyone is clear. International institutions are also clear about this. And at a micro level, we're beginning to see, clear evidence of progress. 2 years, we're talking midterm here. We're not talking 4 years yet. 2 years on, I think that, Mr. RUFAI, I think we are citizens of Nigeria. And I think we all, no matter where we talk from or where we stand, we love this country. That's an assumption we must grant to everybody. Okay. This president, for example, could have said, what, I'm going to peg the Naira value to $1 to 1 Naira. And if I have 200 Naira in my pocket, all of a sudden I have $200. I can get on my phone and order something from Amazon or somewhere else, for a lot. But that will make him very popular. Okay. He has chosen to tackle the problems realistically rather than simply, take a shot at popularity like other presidents have done.
Okay, Mr. Morka, there were many things I talked about. I also talked about the lack of transparency in the coastal road. What would you say about a minister saying that a project was given to one contractor because of competence and not giving others the fairness of competitive bidding? Costing is another one that we've gone back and forth. And with due respect,
yes.
let me finish, Mr. Morka. You said the economy is good.
Sure.
At 25% inflation rate, World Bank projection of 37% inflation rate, things are bad. You said the economy is good. The economy that was handed to President Tinubu was over 200 billion. Today is less than 200, about 199 billion thereabouts. You said the economy is good. More people have jumped into poverty, have been swept into poverty. Inflation is real, and the social factors are not any better. Insecurity has had an uptick. These are also other facts on ground. So tell me, a government that didn't employ transparency, what would you have done for a bidding process for the coastal road? Would you have just given it to one person rather than calling others to at least have an open bidding? And the cost involved, these are the things we are saying. That's what a lot of people are saying.
RUFAI, you see, I listened to part of your interaction with the Honorable Minister for Works, His Excellency Dave Umahi. I listened to parts of that conversation, and he gave you his explanations for that. And I'm, not being the Minister of Works, I'm not going to sit here and, again, revisit a discussion you had with him. But he gave, in my understanding of your discussion with him, his explanation for how that process was determined. And, if there are, consequential issues you want to take up with him, please do. But as a citizen and listening to your discussion with him, I don't see what was, untoward for a program of that magnitude. You have said, even on that show, you acknowledge the size and the complexity of that road. I mean, this is one superhighway that we have not done and clearly have no experience of doing in the history of our country. So, again, officials who are appointed to, do job like the minister is, saddled with, they are the ones who must make decisions, and you have a right to, come to them with, criticism or observations about what they've done or how they have not done it. That's within your remit as well, as a citizen and as a journalist. I won't, say more on that. But the point is that I don't think there's a question as to whether or not the economy today is stronger than it has ever been. Everyone, all those who should know, are saying it in very eloquent, terms. Whether it's Modi, whether it's, all of the other rating agencies, globally, the World Bank, the IMF, everybody acknowledges. And locally, we're seeing that result. Look, RUFAI, I think, let's not set ourselves back in conversation, looking at, framing these questions the way we are. We can say, look, we can acknowledge, we can, agree that things were really horrible and they're getting better, and that the markers look good. Yes, are we exactly where you and I would agree we need to be? I don't think, we can say yes.